After Mr. Bean and his team left for Australia as they had an early flight, all the KTA staff started celebrating as they got to know about the event which is going to be held. They were trying for this opportunity for last 6 months. They are first company which is going to collaborate with Mr. Bean for the fashion event in Seoul. All are celebrating, and here Ty is sitting alone in his cabin, lost in his thought. He was trying to calm his mind as the things in his life were coming into his mind, which was distracting him from work. He was trying to concentrate, but again and again the thought was coming in his mind that what will he do now after marrying Jungkook? Today when he said that he won't be able to give him the right to be his wife to him, that time he can see the pain in JK's eyes. But what could he do? He had already told JK this before marriage only. But then also JK was adamant on marrying him. He was disturbed thinking about Jungkook's future. He actually deserved a better person than him. But just because JK fell in love with him, he had to marry a person who cannot give him rights. Try what to do. I cannot let him destroy his life this. He asked himself, hold his head with his hands looking down. What happened, Young? Any problem? His voice came from the door. I looked up hearing the voice and saw Jungkook in front of his desk, the door with the files in his hands, looking at his innocent face as he didn't do anything. I got angry and stood up, moved toward JK, and held his shoulders. All the files get fallen down from JK's hands. He was looking at Ty with confusion. Ty moved forward, holding JK, and JK was now stuck between the closed door and Ty. Ty, you are the reason for my problem. I told you I cannot marry you, but just because you love me, you forced me to marry you, and I had to bow down in front of your stubbornness. But now what, Jungkook? Now what? Will you be able to live like this with a husband who do not love you and he is just a namesake husband? He said to JK, holding his shoulders very tightly, anger clearly visible in Ty's eyes. Jungkook was in pain, listening all the truth from Ty's mouth. Ty was saying all right things. He is not happy with this namesake marriage. He always wants Ty to love him, not burdening him in this forced marriage. But he had to do this for some reason. Then JK felt some pain in his shoulder, so looked at Ty's hand on his shoulder, then looked at Ty with pain but said nothing. Looking at JK's eyes, which has pain, Ty came back to his senses and left JK with the jerk. He kept his hand on his face, calming himself down. Jungkook was looking at him with pain and sympathy for him. Tears were rolling down from his eyes. Ty, I am sorry, Jungkook. Actually, I was little disturbed and you came, so it came out like this, he said to JK, who was looking at him after calming himself down. JK wants to say many things for doing this, but As always, he calmed himself, but said painfully, JK, it's okay, Young. I know that I am the sole reason for all the problems in your life. This is not new for me. Tai, Jungkook, listen. He tried to say something, but Jungkook stopped him from saying further by showing his hand and started collecting the files from the floor. After Jungkook went, Tai hit his hand on his desk and angrily said, Tai, damn it. Jungkook went to his cabin and closed the door. He was very upset with Tai. He had not expected Tai to hurt him. He knew that what he did with Tai was wrong, and the thing he is hiding from Tai is also wrong. But this behavior of Tai is breaking him from inside. The strong Jeon Jungkook is getting weak as he is madly in love with Tai, and Tai is hurting him continuously. Jungkook was crying, remembering their marriage in the church. How he saw Tai for the first time and tried to see him everywhere possible, and slowly he madly fell head over heels for Tai. Then he remembered how Tai behaved with him some time before. A knock on his cabin door made him come out from his thought. He wiped his tears and composed himself and opened the door. Yoongi, Cookie, why did you lock the door? He asked JK coming in, but when he saw JK he panicked, seeing stains of tears and JK's sad face. Youngie, Cookie, what happened? Why are you crying? He asked JK with tension. JK, nothing, Young, he answered Youngie, faking a smile. Youngie, something surely had happened. Tell me, he asked JK again, this time with right. Feeling JK silent, he asked him, Youngdi, is it about Tai? Did he say something to you? Tell me, please, I am your brother, right? JK crying. He is not happy with this marriage, Young. He is very angry at me for forcing him. I do not know. In these 2 years, he was all normal. He was not this much tensed before, Young. Have we done wrong by forcing him to marry me, Young? There is nothing wrong, Cookie. He is just overthinking about this. That's why he is not taking it positive. He is just angry because he had to bow down in front of you. You know, before meeting you, his condition was bad than this. You can make him better than this. Youngie, you know he always wants a reason to live. When his parents died, his brother was a reason to live. When his brother died, his upcoming life partner became his everything, and then Yon went away, giving him reason to take care of him. He is scared of living alone, Cookie. He was very close to his family. They were his everything. He explained him everything. Youngie remembered how they met Cookie, which made a lots of changes in Tai's life. Flashback. Because of Tai's bad condition after Yon's death, Kitty was facing financial crisis. This made Tai came out of his silent, lonely mode to working mode. He started working again on his company. He had started getting better, but there was some sadness always been there between them in Ty's life, and was the time when they met Jungkook. They were in the park sitting, seeing children playing when one lady came to them and asked Yoongi, "Lady, Yoongi's son, you here? How are you?" Yoongi, auntie, you, I am alright. How are you, auntie? He asked, getting up. Tai also got up and looked at Yoongi as who is she look. Yoongi, Tai, she is from Yeon's orphanage. Yeon was clone to her. I had met her with Cookie, and he is my friend whom Yeon was going to marry. He introduced them to each other. Certain lady, oh, how are you, son? You are not well at that time of last result, so I could not meet you. Yoongi, how is Cookie auntie? Is he fine now? I can remember he was all broken that time. Yoongi asked as I was silent. Lady, he is not well. He is trying to accept that Yeon is no more. But as he had become all alone, it is becoming difficult for him. There is no one to take care of him after his brother Yeon, for he first lost his parents, then his only brother, she said emotionally. After hearing all these things started wandering in Ty's mind. There is no one to take care of him after my brother Yeon. Ty, my brother, please take care of my brother is my only family. That's when a boy who was sitting a little away from them came to Auntie and said, Boy, Auntie, Lisa had called me. She is waiting for you. Let's go home. That's when his gaze went to Tai and Yoongi. He was looking at Tai, who was looking down. He was confused, surprised, and somewhere happy seeing Tai. Yoongi saw him looking at Tai and said, Yoongi, Cookie, he is Taeyong, my friend, with whom Yeon was going to marry. Hearing this, Tai looked up at JK with surprise, and JK got the biggest shock of his life hearing this and was looking at Tai constantly with shock all written on his face. JK's little happiness turned into shock, bitterness, and pain. Tears started coming into his eyes, and he started stepping forward, murmuring, JK, this cannot happen. How can this happen? Yeon and Taeyong and JK ran away from there, wiping his tears. Auntie ran behind him, calling him. Yoongi was confused with JK's act, and I was thinking something emotionally. Yoongi, what happened to him suddenly? He thought in his mind suspiciously. Tai, Yoongi, Young, do you know where he lives? He asked him with tears rolling down, realized that he forgot doing before. Yoongi, yes, Tai, but why are you asking this? Yoongi asked him, coming out of his thought.